The fast-flowing St. Lawrence Seaway, one of Canada's trading arteries with Northern Europe. Some have cited Canada as a model for how the UK could continue to do business with the EU if it left the European Union. At the port of Montreal, a container ship turns, destination Europe. Canada has just negotiated a trade deal with Europe. For the EU, this is the largest trade agreement with a single country. Both Canada and the EU make big claims for it.
In our case, we're looking roughly around 4% increase in tonnage over the next 5 years.
The deal is expected to remove 98% of tariffs from everything from cars to minerals to shrimp. But move to the capital, Ottawa, for a sense of how difficult this has been. The deal has been 7 years in the making, and it's still not been ratified. For the Canadian government, it will eventually be worth £6 billion a year, but it's not the same as full access to the European single market.
This is a really big deal. It's a really deep deal. It's a really high-quality, gold-plated trade deal. When I look at what Canada will have in terms of its ability to trade with Europe compared to being a member of the EU, the really big difference is regulatory harmonization. What it means for Canadian businesses is they have to, quite rightly, meet European regulatory standards without having a say in how those standards are written.
No one pretends that this trade deal will give Canada the same kind of access to the European single market as an EU member state has. Even so, this deal is hugely important to Canada. But after over 7 years of negotiations and a document running to over 1,400 pages, there are still issues about regulation that will have to be tackled in the future. Take the car market. Yes, more vehicles will be traded, gradually trade will become duty-free, but significant issues remain over regulations and technical standards.
When you consider all market access, I mean, we're talking about not just automobiles, but we're talking about all sectors of our respective economies. And that is a long, complicated process.
Come on, girls.
Take farming, like this small farm in Paris, Ontario. Yes, around 60,000 tonnes of beef will now be able to be exported to Europe duty-free. But much is yet to be agreed, including meat inspection rules. When all is eventually signed, Canada won't have to contribute to the EU budget or sign up to freedom of movement, and will be able to do trade deals wherever it wants. Yes, Canada now has a big deal with Europe, with many barriers lifted. But in some key areas, including financial services, restrictions remain. Gavin Hewitt, BBC News, Toronto.